History of the 1964 D. Lincoln Cent. Let's rewind to 1964. America was at a turning point, the civil rights movement was in full swing, the Vietnam War was escalating, and the country was preparing for dramatic changes, including in its coinage. The Lincoln Cent, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, had already become one of the most collected coins in American history. By 1964, the design was still holding strong, the familiar bust of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the reverse featuring the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959. The D mint mark on the 1964 D penny indicates it was minted in Denver, one of the key facilities of the U.S. Mint. That year, over 3.7 billion Lincoln cents were struck in Denver alone, making the 1964 D one of the highest mintage coins of all time. So why are we talking about a coin that had billions of copies? Because hidden among those billions are rare varieties and errors that can fetch incredible prices. And these coins are often hiding in plain sight. Gemstone rare varieties and errors that make it extremely valuable. The true treasure lies in the error coins and rare varieties. Let's look at the most sought-after and valuable types of 1964 D pennies. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. One of the most valuable types of error is the double die obverse, where the design appears doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. On a DDO 1964 D penny, you might see doubling in the word Liberty, doubling in the date 1964, doubling in the motto In God We Trust. Collectors pay big money for a clean, strong double die. Even in circulated condition, these can sell for $200 to $1,000 plus, and in mint state condition, well over $5,000. 2. Off-center strikes. Coins that were struck off-center, meaning the blank wasn't aligned correctly in the press, are also prized by collectors. The more off-center, especially if it's 50% or more and shows a full date and mint mark, the more valuable it is. An off-center 1964 D penny could fetch anywhere from $150 to over $1,500, depending on the percentage and condition. 3. Clipped planchet errors. A clipped planchet occurs when a part of the coin's blank is accidentally cut off. These coins look like they're missing a byte. Some 1964 D pennies with this error have sold for $200 to $800, with clean, dramatic clips bringing the highest values. 4. BIE error, die break between B and E in Liberty. A unique type of die break that shows up between the B and E in Liberty, making it appear like there's an I, hence the nickname BIE error. These are fun for collectors and can be worth $15 to $100 or more in uncirculated grades. 5. High-grade full red, RD, coins. Color also plays a major role in a penny's value. A full red, RD, 1964 D penny in MS67 or higher can be extremely valuable. These pristine examples, with their original luster, have sold for over $5,000 at auction. And get this, the highest graded 1964 D Lincoln cent ever sold fetched an astonishing $25,000 simply because of its perfect mint condition and deep red color. Chart increasing auction records and market trends. Recent auctions show just how hot these coins can get. In 2021, a 1964 D MS67 Plus RD Lincoln cent sold for $27,500 at Heritage Auctions. A rare double die example, graded MS64 red, crossed the auction block at $9,000. And clipped planchet or off-center varieties regularly bring in $1,000 or more. The demand for error coins and high-grade Lincoln cents has only increased in the last few years. As collectors seek to complete registry sets or chase top pop coins, the 1964 D has become a hidden gem in plain sight. Brain how to identify a valuable 1964 D penny. Now you might be asking, how do I know if my 1964 D penny is worth a fortune? Here are the steps. Check the mint mark, make sure it's a D below the date. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, look for doubling, especially in Liberty or the date. Inspect for off-center strikes or missing pieces. Check the color, if it's shiny, bright red like it was just minted, it might be RD. Weigh it, should be about 3.11 grams. Anything too light or heavy might be an error. Get it graded, send to PCGS or NGC to confirm the grade and variety. Let's rewind the clock to 1960. America was booming with post-war prosperity. The U.S. Mint was churning out billions of coins annually. Among them was the familiar Lincoln cent, minted in Denver with the D mint mark. But 1960 wasn't just another year. It marked one of the most fascinating minting anomalies in penny history. That year, the U.S. Mint made a subtle yet important change: the size of the date on the coin. Yes, you heard that right. The U.S. Mint used two different sizes of numbers on the 1960 penny, a large date and a small date variety. This occurred in both Philadelphia and Denver mints, but the 1960 D small date penny became one of the most hunted coins in American numismatics. So what's the deal with the date size? The small date variety features thinner and shorter numerals, especially noticeable in the 0. The large date has bolder, taller digits. To the casual eye, this might seem minor, but in the world of coin collecting, it's everything. And the 1960 D small date in mint state red condition is the crown jewel. Why? Because in Denver, almost all 1960 D pennies were struck with the large date dies. That makes small date examples from Denver extremely rare, especially in uncirculated high grades. Collectors have searched decades for high-grade examples. The few that do exist are now considered modern-day treasures. If you're lucky enough to find a 1960 D small date penny in MS66 plus red or higher, you've basically struck copper gold. Here's the kicker. A 1960 D small date in MS67 plus red, PCGS certified, has sold for over $20,000 at public auction. But wait, there's more. A few extremely rare examples with full red designation and no marks or discoloration have reportedly sold in private sales for up to $75,000 to $100,000 plus. That's right, a penny, worth more than a luxury car or even a small house. So yes, your spare change could fund your next big dream, if you know what to look for. It's not just the small date that makes this year exciting. There are several valuable mint errors and varieties in the 1960 D penny series, including: this is a repunched mint mark variety where the D mint mark was stamped more than once, often at slightly different angles. Some RPM varieties have strong, visible doubling and can sell for $25 to $100 in circulated condition, $300 to $1,000 plus in uncirculated grades. Although not as common, some 1960 D pennies exhibit doubling on the date, Liberty, and I in God We Trust. These rare coins can reach $500 to $5,000 in higher grades depending on the strength of the doubling. Some 1960 D pennies were struck off-center due to improper coin feeding. These errors are always in demand. 10 to 20% off-center, $100 to $300. 50% off-center with full date, $1,000 plus. When the metal sheet used to make coins overlaps or is misaligned, it creates clipped coins. Value, $100 to $400 depending on size and completeness of the clip. Spotting a 1960 D small date isn't as hard as it sounds, if you know what to look for. White heavy check mark. Look at the 0 in the date. In the small date, it's taller and narrower than the large date. White heavy check mark. The 6 in the date sits higher than the other numbers. White heavy check mark. Liberty appears less bold on small date versions. White heavy check mark. Always check the weight. It should be 3.11 grams, standard bronze cent. White heavy check mark. Use a coin microscope or strong magnifier to confirm details. White heavy check mark. Consider submitting your coin to PCGS or NGC for grading. Type grade. Estimated value regular 1960 D large date circulated $0.01 $0.10 regular 1960 D large date MS65 red $5 $151960 D small date MS66 red $1 $500 $3 0001960 D small date MS67 plus red $20 $000 $100 000 plus 1960 D RPM D over D MS65 red $150 $5001960 D double diop verse AU MS $500 $5 000 plus off center strike 50% plus any $1 000 plus clip planchette any $100 $400. Prices vary based on certification, eye appeal, and market demand. The 1960 D small date penny is valuable for 3 reasons. Low mintage in that die variety, small date dies weren't meant for Denver, making them incredibly rare. High collector demand, it's a key coin for Lincoln cent set completion. Condition sensitivity, only a handful have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. That combination of rarity plus condition plus demand equals some of the highest penny prices ever recorded for a post-1950 coin. So there you have it, the story behind the most rare 1960 D Lincoln cent. From mysterious date varieties to jaw-dropping auction prices, this humble copper coin continues to shock and inspire collectors across the globe. Loudspeaker, if you have a 1960 D penny in your collection, examine it now. You could be holding a piece of history worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and it hasn't left our pockets since. By 1978, the Lincoln cent had already become a staple in American coinage. The 1978 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which produced 4,280,233,400 of them that year. That's over 4.2 billion coins. So how could one of them be worth a fortune? The secret lies in mint errors, rare varieties, and condition grades. While most 1978 D pennies are worth face value, a few extremely rare specimens have stunned collectors and dealers by fetching thousands, or more, at auction. You might be thinking, how can I tell if I have a valuable 1978 D penny? Here's the answer, condition plus rarity plus error equals big money bag. Let's break it down. Some 1978 D Lincoln cents were struck with incredible mint errors, and that's where the serious money is. These include off-center strikes, especially if 50% or more off with full date and mint mark. Double dies, look for doubling in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." Clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a misfeed. Wrong planchet errors, where a cent is struck on a dime or foreign coin blank. These rare minting mistakes are highly collectible and can sell for $500 to $10,000 or more, depending on severity and eye appeal. Another factor. Condition. If you find a 1978 D penny in mint state 67 or higher, with absolutely no scratches, perfect luster, and flawless strike, guess what? You're sitting on a treasure. Only a tiny handful of 1978 D pennies have ever graded MS67 Red, RD, or better by PCGS or NGC, the top grading services in the world. These elite coins have brought home up to $7,000 to $15,000 at public auctions. The highest recorded sale of a 1978 D Lincoln cent in MS67 plus Red was over $15,000. So next time you see a shiny old penny, don't spend it, inspect it. Now here's the ultimate shocker. One known 1978 D Lincoln cent was mistakenly struck on a silver dime planchet, creating a coin that never should have existed. This wrong planchet error weighs 2.5 grams instead of the standard 3.11 grams for a copper penny. When collectors heard about this coin, it was like discovering a unicorn in coin form. This single error coin sold at auction for over $50,000, making it one of the rarest and most valuable penny errors ever discovered for that year. These bizarre mistakes happen when a leftover dime blank, planchet, from another minting run slips into the wrong press. The resulting coin is a hybrid, part penny, part dime, and worth a small fortune. Here's a checklist for your coin hunt. White heavy checkmark mint mark D under the year means it was struck in Denver. White heavy checkmark, look for doubling in letters or numbers, especially 1978 and Liberty. White heavy checkmark, inspect for planchet errors like clips or wrong metal types. White heavy checkmark, weigh the coin. A normal penny should weigh 3.11 grams. White heavy checkmark, if it's lighter, around 2.5 g, you may have a wrong planchet error. White heavy checkmark, condition is king. If it looks flawless, consider grading it. Let's talk money. Here's what your 1978 D Lincoln penny could be worth. Type grade, estimated value regular 1978, D circulated $0.01, $0.10 regular 1978, DMS 65 red $10, $25 regular 1978, DMS 67 red $1, $500 $3, 000 double die error AU, MS $300 $5, 000 plus off center strike 50% plus off $500 $2 500 wrong planchet, e.g., silver/dime, MS $25, 000 $50, 000 plus MS 67 plus red, top pop, PCGS/NGC up to $15,000 plus. Important tip, always use a jeweler's loupe or USB microscope to inspect your coins closely, and weigh them with a digital gram scale to catch rare planchet errors. You may be wondering, why all this fuss over a penny? Because the 1978 D. Lincoln cent sits at the crossroads of modern minting and historical transition. The U.S. Mint was preparing to shift away from copper, which happened in 1982, making the late 70s pennies the last of the full bronze era. That gives these coins extra historical value and serious collector appeal. Combine that with mint errors and low population grades, and the 1978 D becomes a sleeper hit in the coin collecting world.